excited about that.
Airport construction project.
All right.
Updates to it.
The quick rundown through the projects. We've submitted all our final paperwork to the Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission for the fiscal year 2012 projects. That was the PAPIs in the Northwest Development Area and Taxiway Charter. We have also submitted all our final paperwork to the FAA. We've received all the funding except for the amendments that we've requested. The amendments are the overages that we do have on the project due to just construction delay and engineer fees. Those we're anticipating receiving sometime later in the end of the year, but Congress has to approve the next year's funds, so we're waiting on that. But all in all, we should be coming out of that entire debacle with PAPIs that work, taxiways that are done, Northwest Development Area that's done, and revenue received that, you know, we really didn't come out that bad. We've heard horror stories of dealing with sureties, and I have to say that dealing with Lexon surety has actually been very, very good. I feared it quite a bit, but it actually turned out really well, you know, and I think everyone was able to leave the table, not necessarily happy, but you know, not feeling like they were getting the wool pulled over their eyes either. The next project that we have coming up, we're still in delay with the Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission. As you remember, we had $3 million that was taken from the Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission by the state to balance the budget. That in turn has come around to hurt us recently because we're waiting for funding for the project, for the $1.5 million project for ODLs and runway repair and taxiway repair. Basically they're having to wait for excise taxes, so if someone buys a new jet in the quick near future, that money will go towards this project. Fuel sales, the taxes they receive go to this project. They have hopes to be able to begin and start and complete the project before summer, but ultimately we're waiting on funding. And so hopefully that'll happen and we don't end up doing the runway construction in the summertime and have to deal with closure during our high peak times of flying.
Well, that's a two-edged sword. We could miss the rainy spring season and the work gets done.
Be able to park them on outside. Absolutely, absolutely. So that's what we're dealing with on that. As I know more, I will continue to provide updates. And lastly, we're talking about the Pilots Lounge, and that's the next action item. So I'll pass it back.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Action items, discussion and consideration of Pilots Lounge. You've got a good handout in front of you. Justin, we found out he's got architectural talents. If you look at the renderings, if you open the package up of what the lounge is, we hope it's going to look like.
Well, ultimately, this rendering is just to show more of a footprint of what it's going to look like. Ultimately, it probably will look color-wise and furniture-wise nothing like what we have here. Ideally, we'd like to have something where there is comfortable lazy boys for people to sit at the table for pilots to be able to work on, and sinks and cabinets. But you know, color-wise, everything should change. But we do want a full-size refrigerator with ice machines, so we can provide ice at a, where it just makes it on its own, and we're able to give that to pilots as they need it. It will have a shower. It will have a bathroom. It will be separate from each other. Major items that have been discussed is the need for a window in there. We've been able to bring in the idea of putting a glass door similar to like all the other doors on the building, which will provide that window in and out of the building for pilots to be able to see when people are coming, when their passengers are coming in.
That door's to the northwest, like these other doors here?
Yes.
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 So you walk out that door, you're walking northwest.
When you walk out this glass door, you'll be walking on the next door down from my office.
Okay.
Yes. So, ultimately, we're just, I know we've brought this before the board multiple times, and everyone thinks that it's a great idea, but following the procedures, just kind of take a look, make sure everybody likes what they are in the direction that we're headed, and then we'll send it to the city council so that they will be able to take it to bid. What we do need is, if we can have a representative from the board, be able to maintain close communication with myself for picking samples, someone who can be on call fairly quickly, that we can work with the contractor and just picking colors, samples, things like that. We want the board's input and desire to have one.
So right now, do we need another motion to send this on to council that we?
I think we need a motion to send it to council with the representative. Would that be? Doesn't matter on the representative, but a motion to council.
Okay.
To recommend to take it to bid.
Recommend to take it to bid.
Okay. Has somebody looked at it to see that it meets all of the ADA requirements?
Yes, so it was designed by an architect and through Myers Engineering. And everything, the bathrooms, the shower that is in the picture isn't the actual shower that'll be used. It'll actually be a roll-in shower that they will be able to, everything will be ADA compliant.
Okay, we have a motion, we send this on to council, we're happy with it.
I'd make that motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Carrie seconds, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next,
Pick the representative.
Be-
Do you guys want to pick the representative now, and we'll start communication with that person? You have somebody,
Justin's favorite color is beige, and so if there's someone out there that wants to add a little bit more than beige, I'd be happy to have a representative that might like more than one
I'm
color.
a bright
How
color.
about,
Okay.
how about purple almost pink?
I'm,
I'm a little colorblind, so polka dot really works
Hey,
well
you
for
ought to do it
me.
then if you're local, I mean, you're around most of the
I'm
time.
around, I'm out here.
And you like
Well, I
bright
should be.
colors?
Yeah, I think orange and gray and black.
I don't know about that orange. I was thinking red.
Cowboy stand on the
We
door.
have to be a little
Oh,
more.
Oh, we gotta be more
neutral to
Okay.
university colors.
Okay, yeah, we'll go neutral colors, but I'd be happy to serve on it if you want me to do it.
I had one follow-up question on these items to acquire. These are outside of this budget?
Ideally, those will be outside of that budget and will be provided by the Guthrie Aviation Association. They're working real hard to acquire donations, to be able to furnish, decorate, and just make everything hospitable to a pilot. Who better to do it than actual pilots who would be using it, so.
This area's got Wi-Fi,
Yes, sir.
and are there any requirements for communication, aviation weather and computer stuff?
Ideally, we would like to get, and this is talking future because it will be expensive, but many airports around have, kind of a big computer screen mounted to the wall where pilots can access weather on a full-size, more like a huge TV screen, be able to see detailed weather and access it that way. Ideally, we'd like to do that, but that's kind of long range because it is so expensive. If we're able to receive that in a donation or the Pilots Lounges or the Aviation Association is able to pull something like that together, we'd love to see that.
So
If we could pull off a smart TV,
Yeah,
stick in there on the wall, then.
absolutely, absolutely.
So what type of, now you've got the TV on the wall, would you run like a cable? Or would you
I
run,
think you can do it by Wi-Fi.
can you
Yeah.
do it?
Smart TV can do Wi-Fi. We are gonna run, as you can, kind of on this, the wall right next to the door, there will be a TV mounted up there that will be able to have cable, and we're gonna have it all hidden behind the TV, so you won't have wires going everywhere. But I think the smart TV, we could have another one of those with just Wi-Fi. That'd be a great way to do it.
Okay.
Or maybe the TV that we get will be, you switch back and forth.
Use it either way.
Yeah, yeah.
And the low rent will be taken care of on the ASOS being piped in there.
The what?
The ASOS being piped in there,
Mm-hmm.
that'll be there. That's easy to do.
We should probably be able to do that. We'll have to talk with the National Weather Services. They're the ones who maintain it. We may be able to get a second screen, be able to put in there. Otherwise, I'm sure we'll be able to.
Well, I
figure out
was
how to
just
do it.
thinking, it's audio only, you wouldn't have to.
Oh, we could do audio only, and we could put a base station for a radio receiver, and they could be able to turn it on and hear it that way. Absolutely.
And while we're talking about that, to make sure we have counter space to support that, we just have the kitchen counter space.
We'd ultimately put in a desk. The kitchen counter space, we wouldn't want any electronics sitting around or on
Right.
top of that because of the water. But we'd be able to put a desk or something in there that could have all the flight planning type of equipment.
Instead of a dining table, maybe a work table, a workstation. I mean, that's fine points to come later, but
Absolutely, absolutely.
Main thing, we wanna get the space built
Yes.
and closed in.
With the right colors.
Yes.
That's right. Next is a vote for annual for the chairman and the vice chairman for the next calendar year.
The first thing I do, Joe, I do have a nomination, but Joe, I'd like to thank you for the progressive job you've done as chair. You sat in a passenger seat for a while, now you moved over and flew on your own for a while, and I think you've done a great job. This board has done a tremendous job of supporting you, and you've been there every time we needed you. We can't thank you enough for the time and energy you've put in.
Appreciate it.
And the other side of that coin is that Gail has learned to direct traffic in the parking lot tremendously. And you know, Gail not only will do that, Gail is such a public servant, such a great person to let pilots all over the state know what we're about and pumped up about this. And I'd like to make a recommendation that Gail would step up. We've done that in the past to take the chairman's job. And I'd like to see Cheryl step up as the vice chair, if she would do that.
I'm not sure we can do both
I
of
think
them
we
at
have
the
to
same time.
do the chairman first and then.
Okay, so
Okay.
we have
So
a nomination for Gail as
I would love for Gail to
Chairman?
step up. He's proved to be the man we're
I'd second that.
all in favor, accepting
Yep.
number two to move the number one slot. Gail Ranger. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Very good. Next is for the vice chairman. And are you gonna-
Can I do two? Does anybody have a problem with that?
You got the floor, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, pass the floor. Cheryl has came in and wanting to be here. Cheryl's great, her business is numbers, and we're so appreciative of that. And I would like to make the nomination to let Cheryl step up as vice chair.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we've got nomination for vice chairman. Sheriff Hedges. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No opposed?
You don't have a vote, Cheryl. Fine.
Just so everyone knows, that does kind of follow the same tradition of everything, so I mean, there's really nothing, no big issues about that. Everything kind of rotates Guthrie, Edmond, and so
Okay,
that works very good.
tradition, right?
All about
Mike, what would you like?
Picture, scoop the two new ones together, or Joe shaking their hands, or whatever.
How about Joe throwing up his hands?
Oh, I can't wait for this.
Here we go, the new people.
There you go.
It's a Christmas card.
You'd be surprised when I can make this picture show up.
You know,
The water bottle in there.
Gail and Joe's together, but they're not really together.
Thank you.
Oh,
Well, now that that's over, then we have, I guess that's it. Gail?
All right.
Yeah, would you like to encourage your